And it's roll me bully boys, we're in a hurry boys. Oh, we got a long way to go. We'll sing and we'll dance and bid farewell to France, and it's row me bully boys, row. We sailed away in the roughest of waters. Row me bully boys, row. And it's row me bully boys, we're in a hurry boys. We got a long way to go. We'll sing and we'll dance and bid farewell to France, and it's row me bully boys, row. Not connected. Well, that's not good. Did I accidentally turn off the Wi-Fi? Am I transmitting? I hope I am. I hope there's no outage. Let's see. No, I'm transmitting. So why is it not doing it for me? That is frustrating. All right, well, let's try that. Airplane mode on, airplane mode off. Reset. Is that now? Ah, well, we'll just have to wait. Well, unfortunately, you just have to wait. Oh well, that is... Restart and update and shut down. That is unfortunate. All right, well, luckily we have our main... It's painting, so we have our actual main chat up. Okay. That is frustrating, to say the least. Oh well. Hello everyone, my name is Commissar Hecht, and welcome to another edition of Painting. We're 4 minutes in, unfortunately, but it is for charity. This charity is for 22 Kill. It is a mental health organization that focuses on that focuses on U.S. veterans. Well, not just U.S. veterans, but it focuses on frontline health service workers, U.S. veterans, um, law enforcement, and uh, um, oh man, I am struggling today. Law enforcement and first responders. There we go. Whew, man, struggling. All aboard the struggle bus. Population me. I'm struggling. So, 22 Kill supports those families that are actively pursuing help. Basically, it's the purpose is to empower veterans, first responders, and their families to for prevention begins with awareness when it comes to suicide or just heavy thoughts of heavy emotions that may affect people, right? Because emotions affect everybody, just in different rates. So please, if you can donate, donate. You're not mandated to, but it would help greatly if you guys could. Um, but anyway, so I'm just doing this on Twitter real quick, and then we will get going because we're kind of running a little bit behind schedule, but that's no big deal. You know why? Because it's easy, right? Uh, Please join me while I paint. And there we go. And if you want to join in the voice chat and we can talk about whatever, you most absolutely certainly can. So yeah. So okay, let's get to what was I doing? Oh yeah, I was doing the technical stuff. The stuff, the not so sexy, the not so sexy stuff. No, I know that there's a Larman's medium I was using earlier that was open. There's that. Is this really my only Larman's medium? I thought I had another that was open. Could have sworn I did. Oh well. Was open. Oh well. They were open. And then they dried on me. That's when you know you haven't painted, when Larman's medium dies on you. Oh, that's embarrassing. That's a lot of money I just burned. Ugh. This is $10 right here. Damn. All right. Well, that'll teach me. That'll teach me not to leave them. Well, I didn't leave them unopened. I closed them, but that'll teach me that these guys have a shelf life. I wonder if you could layman's medium. Golly. Whoops. Oh, well, not to worry. if this river don't drown me. I was just the age of 16 when I first went on the drive. Just 6 months hard labor, at home I did arrive. I quartered with a pretty girl, it's her who taught me to roam. Now I'm a river driver, and I'm far away from home. We're just trying to reconstitute some of these paints. I've been sitting for a while. This one needs a little bit of love. So the goal today is to get at least a squad done. At least a squad up and operational. So that way I have something to show for it. Oh. Where is that mixer brush? Nope, that's not it. There's one that I've chewed the living hell out of. Yeah, there we go. Always have one mixer brush. I was just the age of 16 when I first went on the drive. 6 months hard labor, when I did arrive. I quartered with a pretty girl, it's her who taught me to roam. Now I'm a river driver and I'm far away from home. Ah. This one's still good. So the problem with painting, right, is something that you guys probably will learn if you ever have families, right? The problem with like painting, especially when you have kids, is that your little ones always want to get into it, especially Brianna. Brianna is, she gets into it a lot, actually. She gets into my paints a lot. Not that I leave them out in the open for her to screw with, but oh yeah. Yeah, buddy. We're cooking with gas. Yeah, we're cooking with gas. Look at that. Oh, I'm so excited. Ooh, this one might need some more tender love and care. Hey, watching from my phone on my lunch break. I'm at work from uni. Okay, Neve, that's fine. Thank you for watching. How's classwork, Neve? I hope it's not. 5 drops of water normally work. Good to know. Hey, Sprue. Oh, it looks like we're actually going to get a bunch of people in today. It'd be a nice turnout. Oh, yeah, this one's still rocking and rolling. Oh, yeah. Oh, man. I don't know about this one. This one doesn't look like it's promising. Having issues with my cloth simulation. Yeah, I saw your tweet the other, what's it called? The other day. I could literally hear you just, your mind break. I feel so sorry for you, Neve. I really do. Sorry about been having computer problems. Oh, I'm so sorry. Hey, no. Do not apologize. I know that people are busy or they, life gets in the way. I am one to have it. Very fiddly software. Yeah, I bet. I'm not one to chastise anybody if they're for technical problems. Dear God. All my streams like, is it working? Is it working? Is it good? But anyway, okay, that's still solid, or not solid, but still working. This one's still good too. Oh no, never mind. So Sprue is joining us on YouTube, which, by the way, I appreciate you, Sprue. And I'm having issues with one of the flowy bits clipping. Well, it's better than the other video you showed me where your where your character's corset literally just said no, and physics just took over. Yeah, she's actually closed now. Hard drive now has red sectors and have to replace when able. Oh, I'm so sorry. Oh, that's disheartening. I'm sorry that you're dealing with that. That's tough. I've always had bad luck with computers, especially in the more recent past. But now that I think I've got a handle on my computer stuff. I think we're good to go. All right, so today, now that I'm actually like set up and it's damn near, what are we at? 19 minutes in? Yeah. Today, we're going to try and at least get a squad done, right? So a squad done. Now, what that looks like is, so we've got third squad here with a missile launcher. And actually, let me move 6th squad real quick. And then you'll see third squad in all of its glory. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4. Let me move you guys real quick, because you're not necessarily part of third squad. Well, the sergeant is. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7 for the grenade launchers. Hello! Join the voice chat, and we could talk about D&D and all that stuff. And then you need to tell me your name and how to actually pronounce it, because I'm going to butcher it. So, and I'm in recording. By the way, if you do jump into recording, people will actually hear your voice throughout the stream. So, just as a heads up. Okay. So where was I? Ah, yes. So this is third squad right here. So we've got 3 regular Stormtroopers. I'm going to skedaddle to get a drink. Okay. Can't join because now I have an exam soon, apparently. Oh, no! Well, join when you can, where you can. No pressure. So where was I? Okay, yeah. So I've got third squad, which are these guys right here, these lovely gentlemen. And if I could maybe get the face. I mean, this guy's face is not as good as some of the others that I've painted, but at least I'm trying. My university won't tell me the correct dates. Heartbroken. I'll join next time. That's fine. That's okay. No, like I said, no pressure. So yeah, I'm not really good at the faces. I am nowhere near like Warhammer World, like heavy metal perfect. But anyway, so I've got my 4 standard Lossmen. And then I've got my 3 Grenadiers. This will be my missile launcher guy, my Sergeant, and then we got to build. It looks like we're going to have to build a regular Lossman. Just hold on. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then a spare. Yeah, we are gonna have to build another Stormtrooper. Oh, that's kind of frustrating, but oh well. So let's try and get at least 1 unit done and out of the way. That way I can focus on 4th squad, 5th squad, and then 6th squad for the next go round. Alrighty. Okay, so most of his uniform is done, it looks like. There's a little bit of chipping on the boots. And really anywhere that's not green kind of looks like. Which is fine. I mean, we'll just touch up. So if there's chipping, we shall fix it. And just touch it up with a little bit of black. And that's the problem with, don't get me wrong, I love painting metal models because the detail's just so crisp at points, but it also is the drawback. Like you got, this is really enjoying to watch. Very cool content. Oh, thank you. So, kind of what the big, I guess the big issue with metal models, a lot of metal models, is that they chip, and chip constantly, which is frustrating at times. Like this guy's, there should actually be a little rope that comes in with the pistol. That dangles in, because here's one that hasn't been clipped, and here's one that has. So as you can see, he's missing the power thing. What the had happened is that they were going to remove this Lost pistol and make a plasma pistol, which I'm kind of debating doing, but at the same time I don't, because it's such an old model. So these models are circa 93, 94. So they're fairly old. So I want to kind of keep the integrity of them. Super cool. Time to fall asleep to stream. No, thank you, Ducky. And like I said, if you want to join on the voice chat, you can. And don't worry, if you fall asleep on the voice chat, that's fine too. I'll just mute you and you can sleep. But yeah, so this particular model set is Imperial Guard from Warhammer 40k. Old Imperial Guard, like second, third edition Imperial Guard. And I'm basing them off of and I'll try and share it on the stream, at least on Twitch. I don't know if I can share it on YouTube, but what I can do is at least share how I've got these inspiration from. So let me see if I got a picture. I do. Let me throw this picture up. So, copy. Paste. Oh, no, it's not going to let me do that. Paste. Oh, damn. Okay, well, I tried. What if I did this? No, I can't do it that way. All right. So, on Discord, if everyone sees what I'm doing on Discord, this is what I'm basing tonight's models off of. So, if you go into the general chat, that's where I'm throwing tonight's models off of. So, a little bit of history. I am, well, a little bit of history plus some other stuff. Oh, my beret's in there. Damn it. Okay, well, I'm Security Forces, Air Force Security Forces. And that picture is Air Force Air Police, or Security Police, back in the Vietnam era. During Operation Safe Side, during Bunker 51, during where security police became really started integrating base defense with the role, and really became the infantry of the Air Force, because they were getting, they did combat missions, they were getting trigger time, shooting at the Viet Cong and the Viet Minh during the Vietnam conflicts, as they were protecting, like, Da Nang Airfield and all the other major airfields where the Army was flying helicopter missions with the 7th Cav, along with actual Air Force missions. I don't want to say F-111 Sabres, because I'm pretty sure the Sabre was an older airframe by the time the Vietnam War happened. But I know the Phantom was around. I don't want to say the 16 was up and running, but at the same time, I think the 16 was, because I know the 16 is a pretty damn old airframe. But still, B-52 obviously was up and running, so they were doing a whole lot of missions. And while security police, their main objective was law enforcement. Um, when the Vietnam War kicked off, they switched from a law enforcement role. They still did that, hence the police portion of it. Um, they still did the law enforcement perspective, but they um, also did base defense, and that's where, I mean, Vietnam and the Korean War. Not so much the Korean War, but Vietnam is where we really like cut our teeth, when it came to um, acting like the army, but not being the army. You know, learning how the army, um, how combat was conducted, because it wasn't that we weren't doing combat operations as air police before Vietnam, but it was always under the assumption that the airfield would never be under direct attack, or if it was under direct attack, it was by artillery fire or whatnot. So, like, we would tell the army, "Hey, go do that, go handle that," um, and whatnot. But when Vietnam happened and there really wasn't a clear battle line, that's when security police turned into, like, really decided to take ownership of air base defense, um, and we really like started digging in on that. So that's where so these models that I'm painting is a tribute basically to them, uh, to the 1960s. Uh, uh, what's it called? It's really super interesting. You don't really get to learn this kind of detail in such in history classes. Well, so history, all right, in education, okay, unless you actually focus on particularly military history or Air Force history, you don't learn this stuff. Um, like, I am pretty sure that there are some wonderful, interesting facts about my other sister service um, uh, counterparts, whether they are the Master at Arms, which is the Navy, or the Duty Officer, which is the Marines, or the MP, which is the Army, right? I'm pretty sure that there's interesting historical like lessons that you can learn uh, from my sister service counterparts, but it's very career specific to them, and I don't know it, you know, because I'm not part of that career field. I probably would know it if I was part of that career field. So yeah, there's that. So it's not like people don't want to teach you this. It's very niche knowledge, um, but it is out there. I mean, you can basically Wikipedia security forces, and it'll tell you exactly what we do and our mission set and whatnot. The stuff I'm talking about isn't what's called secret knowledge, right? It's not. It is published. Um, uh, so there's that. Oh, for sure. As an anthropology major, the education system's a mess when it comes to focusing on topics. It can be biased to paint for certain facts uh, in such ways it plays into favor as well. Ah, yes, anthropology. I don't envy you. I love science. I love math. I love science. I love physics, like astrophysics, like space and whatnot. But I'm also interested in like anthropology. But I also suck at math, and I know anthropology, all the like the heavy sciences, chemistry, all that stuff. You need math. Actually, I'm currently taking criminology as my bachelor, trying to finally finish my bachelor's, and I'm halfway there because I just finished my uh, Community College of the Air Force associates in criminal justice, which is what, again, security forces gives you. If you go into the Air Force as a specific career field, you have a college, right, that you can go to called the Community College of the Air Force, and you can um, complete core classes, core requirement classes, and then um, you get your community college associate's degree of the Air Force, and your military training goes. Most of your military training goes to that credit-wise. Um, so it only made sense to finish my bachelor's degree in criminal justice. All right, now let's get. So, if you ever decide to do miniatures painting, and you're bad or your memory is really bad, like mine is, especially when it comes to like paint style, right? You always have your demo piece, which is this piece right here, which will end up going on a model. But until I'm done with these hardened veterans, this is my demo piece. And then you have your actual piece, which is what you're going to be painting. And I know that camera's bad, so I'm going to bring this one up here, and you can see that's the back portion where it's going to be facing the back part of a Stormtrooper, and then that is the portion what you're going. So there you go. So let's see. My focus is on forensics, and Lord, the math parts of it are hell. Yeah, forensics is certainly math intensive. Um, I work in our community college veterans office, so I work in admissions, so I totally get the vet active duty military doing college. Yes. So I've made a joke earlier, Mini Blade. Um, but I'm a little old, so I did want a commission at one point when I was actually in college as a civilian, and then when I joined the Air Force, enlisted. Um, but life happens and things. It's not that things got in my way. It's just my priorities changed, and now it's just you know finishing the degree. And I'll say this to anybody that's on the fence about college. It is better to have something. Um, it is better to have a degree than not, unless you plan to go into a trade school and work your trade. Whether it's carpentry, HVAC, electricity, as electrician or plumbing, or some sort of manual labor that requires you to be a trade bondsman. Um, so, um, that's an iron worker, a welder, whatever the case, right? So it's something that you should always strive for, is a higher education past college, or sorry, past high school. For those of you who are in America, at least. Ooh, scheisse. Well, golly. One thing falls and they all fall. Everyone took a little trip. Sorry about that, guys. Earthquake! Oh no! Oh, I actually really shouldn't joke about that being in Japan. We've had some pretty gnarly earthquakes. There we go. All right. No harm, no foul. And I always will say this. Try and find a hobby that's outside of what you're actually doing. Passion. Because if you have a hobby that's... I'm going to blind everybody with this light because I need to see. Well, actually, doing that will actually make me see better. Damn. I wish I had just a headlamp. League again. I think my mess. Oh. Yes, thank you. Yes, thank you for the good tidings. Oh man. I also probably lost it when my phone dropped and I lost everybody. There we go. Thank you, Nitty. Sorry, I must have not saw that. Jarl Lewis. Hello. Oh man, we have a murderer's row of people coming in. Well, not a murderer's row. Dear, you guys are all lovely people. Come on. There we go. How am I doing? I am doing fine. We've had 2 phone drops and I've barely started to paint. And if this river... and my other laptop took a crap on me, so I've got to like shift between my focus between the two. So we're just, like I said, we're painting this backpack, and we're using our model, our display one. It's 20C here in the UK. Oh no. Oh no. Yeah, that's never not fun. Or sorry, that's never fun when it's that hot out. That's just not enjoyable. It just really isn't. Really humid due to the rain last night. Oh, woof. Oh, that's always a That's always a problem. At 21C here in Nottingham. Ooh! Ooh! Oh, man. You guys okay? Like, do you need assistance? Oh, man. That's rough. Especially without AC, because I know you guys don't have AC. Alright, come on. There we go. Ah, the weather in the UK makes AC a waste of money. Oh no. Yeah, I remember a few times the summer was uh, like damn near, like just outrageously hot. Um, so yeah, phew, that goes without saying. It goes 20C to 8C in a couple of days. Yeah, when I was in Lake and Heath, there were a few days where I was just dying. I was hurting. Oh, I was hurting bad. I was just like, I need to cool down. Uh, my wife and I would just have like 4 or 5 fans in the house, just cranking, just trying to circulate that stale air. Because our house didn't have screen windows to like get the air circulating. It was bad. I'll tell you. It was rough. It was not fun. All right. There we go. And if anyone's wondering why I'm taking my time with the backpack, which you would think, it's just a backpack. It's only got a few colors on it. It's time for lunch. Sorry, bye. Oh no, don't. The fact that you were able to join me, even for a little bit, is a gift in and of itself. Never apologize. Good talking to you, Sprue. I hope you're. I hope you have a good day. Um, and it's, you know, uneventful, or it's eventful, but it's lovely. Never apologize. Apparently my mobile was glitching. I wasn't sending messages, but in Italy it's 33C now. Oof! Ooh! 33C. Wow! God. That's just... That's not right. That's not healthy at all. Come on. Hello, Kylie. I believe that's how you're gonna say. I believe that's how you say your name. We're having heat waves at the moment, and it's exam sessions. We're having to rely on IC to keep us sane. Yeah. Welcome to the channel. Mini Blade, if you want to make sure that Miss Kylie gets into the Discord, um, uh, just send that link that I sent you. Um, so yeah, I'm actually really excited to get the D&D sessions going again. I super pumped. Super pumped. Yeah, okay. I was gonna send it in general chat just in case it was missed. I'm gonna tell you as soon as they wake up. Oh, good. Yeah, I haven't played D&D in almost over 2 years. No, actually more than that. More than that. I think I haven't played D&D in a hot minute. Oh, that's terrible. Like 4 years now? I played D&D when I got here. Yeah, 2 years. 2 years roughly. That's when I was not able to play D&D. Man. Haven't played D&D in so long. It used to be so much fun though. Yes, no. D&D is amazingly fun. Keeps me sane. Especially when you pull off some gangster stuff. I'd cuss a little more, but I'm trying not to. Like there were some times where my group pulled some gnarly um, gnarly things. I'll tell you. I'll tell you what. We were just feffing heathens about it. Funniest, probably the first Best moment in D&D is when I derail the whole campaign by stealing a boat. So I I have my thoughts on campaign derailment. I really do. Like, if the DM lets it happen, sure, let it happen. Um, but in my experience, sometimes campaign derailment hinders the flow and the fun of the game. I've never played D&D. I'm not sure what it is. Dungeons and Dragons. Okay, so D&D is Dungeons and Dragons for the uninitiated and uneducated. Um, Dungeons and Dragons. There are several versions of Dungeons and Dragons. It's for me. I've played since '96. Um, that was with 3.0 third edition when it was still uh, I'll put another keep going. Aww. So Dungeons and Dragons started in I want to say in the early 70s or 60s by a man named Gary Gygax. And let me tell you about Gary Gygax. Gary Gygax is a guy who really had a vision, giving us choice to capture or escape. I chose stealing a boat. The whole party picked it. Okay, so that's not derailment then. Derailment is like the campaign's off the rails. Okay, you don't derail a campaign if the DM gives you a choice. Okay, you derail a campaign if you pick something that the DM either one didn't plan for, or two, you focus on something that wasn't that the DM. Basically, a derailment is when a dungeon master, when the players do something the dungeon master wasn't expecting. That's the easiest way of saying it. So like some that makes more sense. Also, he didn't plan on us just sailing to another continent and starting a guild. Uh, yeah. So a derailment is like when you deviate from the story, right? So like for those of you who don't know Dungeons and Dragons, you have your players, right? They're actors in the story, right? Um, but your but the DM is basically not just a storyteller, because he or she has a storyline already made up in their mind, written down, researched, all that stuff. Um, and that's called the campaign, right? So they have a story that they want to tell. Um, and then the players also bring their own stories. So Kylie, um, an example would be your character was a member of a small noble house, and one night, that small noble house that you lived all your life in some form of comfort and luxury, one night everything was taken away from you. You woke up and the courtyard that you played in when you were a little child was just alight with a raging flame, right? Just fire everywhere. The kitchen that where you used to have your family meals is just a raging inferno. Um, and at first you think, oh, it's just a kitchen fire that's out of control. one of the staff must have been cleaning the kitchen and it got on fire. But no, you recognize and realize that there's a banner that's silhouetted in the middle of the courtyard in a raging inferno, and that is a banner of your noble house's most ancient and hated rival, right? So you can make a story to give to the DM, right? That's an example, right? Just off the top of my head. Um, uh, and you can give that story to the DM, and then the DM incorporates it into the campaign, into his or her story that they want to tell. And then, so that's how you get your character involvement. Some character stories are very detailed, very intricately laid out, right? And a DM, an experienced DM. Okay, but this is a prompt. That's really cool. Yeah, it is. It is 100% a prompt, right? Um, um, okay, but this prompt is actually really cool. Yeah, so it's your character's prompt to the DM, right? Um, so the dungeon master takes your character's backstory and weaves it into it. So if I was the DM and you took that prompt that I gave you, just again off the top of my head, I would say, "Oh, you've come to a town, and uh, that prompt slaps." Yeah. So again, you come to this town. Um, you're covered in soot. You're dirty. You've tried to save everyone, but you couldn't. But you remember the sigil, and the sigil was a clenched fist with a cracked femur in between, right? And that sigil is just literally and figuratively burned into the back of your mind. It is your waking nightmare, and the first thing you see when you go to sleep, and the last thing you see when you wake up, or right before you wake up, right? And there's this guilt that you couldn't save the people that you tried, and you just are, your character is filled with hatred and vengeance, and it's like this hot, boiling poison that flows, that pumps through your heart and into your hands like burning oil, you know, and you're clenching your fists like to try and just calm you down and whatnot, right? So that's how your character kind of is consumed and whatnot. It's clear that you have experience, because now I really, really want to actually visualize the story. Well, again, been playing since '96, so I have a little bit of an advantage, of storytelling. But that's something that a good DM, right, and even a novice DM, right, someone who's never DM'd before. It takes practice to be a DM. It takes practice to be a good player, too. Because here's the thing about playing, right? You have to, do you play now? Do I play now? I play when I can. Am I a good player? I try to be. I genuinely try to be. I'm not. I could be better. I could do voices. I could do some voice acting and whatnot about my character. I could try. It's one of those things where there's even still room for me to grow, right? Particularly if we're playing third edition, 3.5, or even Pathfinder. I have a real hard time not remembering all the rules, because I've been playing since '96, and third edition's my has been my playground since '96. And then, of course, when Pathfinder came out, that's when I jumped in. So there's that. So, okay, hold on. You're asking a lot of questions. Do I prefer to DM or play? I'm both. I love telling the story and seeing what the reactions of the players, but I also love being in the story. and like changing it for the DM. Like I don't give the DM a hard time, or at least I try not to. But if you put me in a position to where if my character is going to act, you know, I expect the respect. Like, hey, I'm going to do this not because to create drama, but it is literally how my character would act um, in this certain case, right? Um, and you got to you as a player. This first and foremost, as a player, you have to separate how you as the player feels versus how you as the character feels. Sometimes they merge, which is tough. Most of the times they've merged in the past for me. It's like, God, I wish you didn't do that, because you put effort into these characters, right? But at the same time, it's one of those things where you just have to remember who the character versus the player. But yeah, do I like one-offs? I really don't. I've not that I don't like one-offs. I prefer a coherent story, right, from start to finish. One-offs are really hard in my to get, like, because like I'm in it for the long haul, like level 1 to level 20 and beyond, right? That's my thing. Like, okay, so here's my thing about paladins, right? Paladins aren't dumb. Okay? They are not. It even says in 3.5, in 3rd edition, 3.5, and in Pathfinder. I don't know what they say about 5th, but I'm assuming 5th talks about it too. Paladins aren't dumb. They consider. They are very tactical and strategic thinkers. Okay? They're not just Captain Whitebread. Ooh, let's go off and save the day. No. They think about it. They have to think about it. They have to think about the repercussions of their actions, because not only do they have to follow their paladin code, but they also have to take in consideration what their god tells them to do, what their deity tells them to do. And their deity could, and if they don't have a deity, then they really have to focus on the oath, right? Okay, so but here's the thing about the Oath of Vengeance. You're focusing on one aspect of the oath. There's multiple aspects of that oath where it's not just killing, right? It's about bringing justice to the unjust. That's what a paladin is. That's why the Oath of Vengeance is such a very, very hard path to play, right? Everyone wants to play a Vengeance Paladin. Everyone does. I'm not knocking that. Hell, when I played Black Order Paladins and Shadowbane Inquisitors and Shadowbane Stalkers in 3rd edition, it's because that type of character archetype is really satisfying when you hit the notes, right? But you have to understand that being a paladin doesn't mean that you shut off the brain and you're just beep boop smite evil. That's not how you play a paladin. You play a paladin as a individual that has taken an oath, that walks a path, that strives to be the perfect person, but ultimately knows that they are not perfect, right? So, Generod, my first paladin, did the noble line background. Family was wiped out during a civil war, or during an internecine war. Close family friend killed them, and became my arch enemy. At the beginning of, by the way, thank you, Captain Madlove, for following me. At the beginning of that character, right, Generod, he wasn't. I mean, he was a paladin. He was a paladin in name only. Okay, Pinot. Paladin in name only. So the so much terminology is flying over my head. I'm sorry, Kylie. I'm supposed to be painting too. I'm just full steam ahead on this D&D thing. I may have to change the title to Commissar Talks D&D. But what was I saying? You have to understand, at playing as a paladin, the oath of a paladin, the code of conduct, the guidelines of a paladin. I'll post his backstory. That's fine if you want to post the backstory, but what I'm telling you as a DM is that if you just take Oath of Vengeance for beep boop, I'm just killing things, that's not how a paladin operates. Yes, there's smite evil, there's his powers or her powers, there's wanting to bring justice to the unjust, but there's more than just a kill bot. Because the thing about being a good role player and a good character is that the party shouldn't be murder hobos, right? They shouldn't just go into a town, kill anything that crosses their path that is inherently evil or that does evil things and becomes a menace, right, to the town, because they're just like, oh, well, there's all these vigilantes just walking in, solving all of our problems. Kai, the basics are not too hard. Here it is. Black Shield is last surviving member of the Order of the Rising Phoenix. He was abandoned at their compound mere days after he was born. Hold on. Let me read this real quick. His warder was completely wiped out, but he still remembers his oath to protect the innocents. So, one of the things that is a good backstory, needs some polish. Let me help you. Okay? One of the things that paladin orders are very rare. Okay? It's not like some paladin orders, except for him, in an attack of the night, army of bandits serving the gods. He was the only one to survive, being virtue of a long walk outside. Okay, so there's the survivor complex. Result of his oath of vengeance. He still remembers, protects his oath to the innocent. He carries upon him at all times the oath of members of their banner. Protect the Phoenix Riding, ride by cloth, carries 2 relics, survive the blaze, shield, pure obsidian, a spike on made of pure obsidian blades. The face is the back of it. Okay, all right. So let me help you out there. Okay. Good baseline story, but needs polish. Not that that's not bad. Any character that you make is going to need... Hell, my characters need polish. Whenever I make a character and I submit it to a DM, I'm like, hey, what needs to be thrown away and what needs to be improved? Because the DM, while it is your character, it really helps that a DM and a player sit together and hash out details about a character, right? That's the most important thing about D&D is... Playing the game is awesome and great, but you give what you get. If you're a productive player and you have a good relationship with your DM, This is also my first character in about a year or more, as lockdown canceled all my games. Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's true. So here's the thing about being a good player, about really enjoying D&D. If you have a good relationship with your DM, and you have a good working relationship with not just the DM but the other players, you can all kind of sit down and hash your characters together. Now, some of it might be just one-on-one because you want to keep some of the backstory private, because the other players would want to get involved with your character. But you have to make your character more than just a survivor story. They have to be three-dimensional. Okay? Having his oath of vengeance is fine, but that can't just be your character. Because then you run into an Inigo Montoya, okay, from Princess Bride, right? I've been in the revenge business so long, I don't know what else to do. I've never thought past vengeance. Which works in a movie, because the characters can be one-dimensional. For the most part, right? But not in an RPG where you're going to have multiple sessions and you're going to be sitting down and you're going to be talking and whatnot and you're going to have fun. And you want to build on that. So having the survivor complex should be one facet of your character. If you want to go that route, right? If you want to go the route of not necessarily a survivor complex, but the guilt, right? The guilt that you alone survived your order's fall. That weighs heavy. I don't care who you are. I don't care if you're a paladin. That's a crisis of faith. That's a crisis of who you are as a person. Okay? And that's not just a character. Like, if I was a lone survivor of a unit, there's a lot of mental baggage that you have to process, and for it not make it what's called not make it cheap, right? Okay. Oh yeah, it's become a lot more recently. We are now session 15. It's been revealed that Azor is actually transplanter. Quite a few survived, so now he's become their grandmaster. So he's got a lot to learn, other than he's their military historian. Okay, again, I don't know all the particulars of what's transpired in your D&D, but it sounds like your DM has an idea for you, and as long as you have that two-way communication with your DM. But now back to what I was talking about with Kai. So your character, right, when you make a character, any character, when I make a character, and we keep discussing. Okay, that's fine. Good. You have a good relationship with your DM. You have an open, communicative relationship with your DM. That's how D&D is supposed to be played. But yeah. So what was I saying? Yeah. So Kai, when you make a character, when I make a character, when anyone makes a character, they should sit down with their DM and hash out certain points, right? It can be just you and the DM, or it can be you, the DM, and a few other players, or it could be the whole party. Whatever level you're comfortable with talking about the backstory, because you should have a decent backstory. Now, there might be some characters. It's important to make not a character too shallow, like character's goal is revenge. That doesn't represent only revenge. It doesn't represent the reality of how the mind works. Yeah, exactly. Needy, exactly. One-dimensional characters are great for one-offs. Super. Like, if you're going to make a one-dimensional character, then one-offs are your thing. If you're trying to partake in a very long campaign, one-dimensional is not going to work. You're going to have to create that second dimension, that third dimension, that fourth dimension, right? What keeps this person motivated after they kill the big bad, right? You know, is it love? Is it hope? Is it after the revenge? Okay, now what? Now what do I want? For example, whenever I... Can you make a character be... want it to be like, what are the boundaries? Okay, good question when it comes to D&D. Boundaries are everything. Okay? Your DM is going to set boundaries. You need to respect them. You need to respect those boundaries. Have to. So if a campaign is not, like, I don't know how old you are, but I'm assuming you're close to being 18. If a campaign has kids in it, ain't nothing 18 over. Right? Like, I say that day one. Like, if I am going, you have to tailor the audience. Gonna have to dip if the internet keeps acting up. That's fine. But yeah, if your campaign has children, right, like preteens, teenagers, you need to tailor that, right? If you know that there's going to be people in there, if there's no kids in there, right? If it's all 18, then the DM has a lot more expanse, right? Oh, we're all adults, 18 and up, all the way. By the way, I forgot to mention that. That's fine. That's fine. That's one of those things where you just got to know who you're playing with, right? Because I used to play in a group where it was mixed. The age was mixed because we were in high school, right? I was a senior in high school, and I had friends who were 16, 17, 15, I think was the youngest in my group. And I was just like, okay, well, we're not going to obviously do the stuff from the Book of Vile Darkness because it's 18 up. So no. We could do the Book of Exalted Deeds because there's no, it has some mature stuff in there, but it's not all mature like the Book of Vile Darkness is. They actually have a written warning on the front page saying, hey, this is not a book that should be treated lightly. So you have that conversation with the DM. But there are boundaries, right? One of my characters was a reformed murderer. Not murderer, but cultist. But he did murder people. Okay? He did use poison. He did ritualistically carve ancient sigils into someone, into people's flesh. Right? He did torture. Okay? What I did was I approached the DM. I explained, hey, this is a character that is a reformed cultist. Put through trial, suffered his penance. Now he's reformed. I want to do a character concept. These are the stuff that he knows from his past. Are you comfortable with that? Right? And the DM's like, well, I'll ask around. Because he was fine with it, but he didn't know if the other players were going to be fine with it. So you have to... Also, Commissar, if you could recap the character classes, it would be really helpful. I'm sure you know more about it than I do. Okay, all right, yeah. Let's do that real quick. And then we really got to start painting. So... in D&D, there are there are your core classes, and then there are hybrid classes. Core classes are fighter, cleric, rogue, wizard. Okay? Those are your 4 core. Okay? You have hybrid classes, such as ranger, monk, druid, barbarian, paladin, alchemist, or at least I think 5th edition has alchemist. Well, I'm thinking Pathfinder, but still. Bard, sorcerer. Okay. You have those classes. And I call them hybrid classes because they don't fit into one niche, right? A paladin is a fighter cleric, right? They have a fighter is strictly martial prowess, strictly deals in combat, strictly deals in swords, bows, shields, axes, maces, anything that you could put into a fighter's hand to fight, he can do. But a cleric casts divine spells, asks their gods for favors, to bless their party, to heal their party, to hurt the enemy, or to raise skeletons, all that kind of stuff. That's what a cleric does, right? But they use their gods' powers. Warlock. I forgot about Warlock. Thank you. But a paladin, and this is where I talk about the hybrid classes, a paladin is a merging of a fighter and a cleric. Really good at fighting, but also has some holy spells because of their deity or because of their code of conduct, right? So I wish to be a fairy who knows magic. Well, okay. We'll take that for example. A fairy who knows magic. All right. A DM, if you've never played D&D before, a DM may say, you can hold on to that character, but I want you to stick with the core races, which is elf, dwarf, orc, human, halfling, gnome, dragonborn, etc., etc., etc. Those are like the core. Because a fairy is a pretty unique race. A fairy is a pretty unique species inside D&D. Fairies automatically know some magic. Okay? So you have to kind of, if it's your first character, I always suggest, you don't have to follow it, but I always suggest that you go and you start with the basics. Because you may find out that you don't want to be a fairy, right? That knows magic. You want to be a orc that has 2 double axes and is a barbarian, just really just hammering that down, right? So you need to learn the rules and how it's set first. Or a DM may say, hey, have at it. It's a character race. You can choose the character race. And I'm going to give you it, and we're gonna run with this. So, picking and choosing your classes and your races, if you're new, that's something that you need to kind of take into consideration. So, back to classes. So you have barbarians, which don't wear a whole lot of armor, can't wear a whole lot of armor, have a rage ability, where they draw their inner strength through their anger. And makes sense. Thank you for explaining all this. That's fine. And think of them like Viking berserkers, right? Fly into an almost uncontrollable rage as they fight their enemy. Okay? You have bards. So think Yvasker from The Witcher. really charismatic, the face of the party per se, or one of the potential faces of the party per se, uses their music to their music makes spells happen. Um, Very skilled in not just talking to people, but soliciting information, knowing about a certain place, all that stuff, right? That's what a bard is. Then you have your cleric. Your cleric is, if he's not the face, he is certainly the asset to the party, or she is the asset to the party, because they're the ones that patch you up after you gotten your shit kicked in by an orc, right? Or an ogre, I should say. You're just like, oh God, you got your head smashed in. Okay? They're the ones that keep you going. Okay? They can heal. Most people assume that clerics are just for healing, and they become the heal bots, the beep boop medic, lay on hands, or cure light wounds, all that stuff. But that's not the case. They also have offensive spells. So treat your clerics with respect, because a player who plays a cleric, they're not just playing it just to heal you guys for being stupid. They're playing it because they want to play as a cleric, and they can deny healing to you. I've seen it happen before. After clerics, there is druid, and druid is basically a fighter who has divine spells like a cleric, but also is more in tune with nature, right? Can have an animal companion, can summon wild animals, all that stuff, similar to rangers. But whereas rangers do it kind of by themselves, but they do have some spells, druids do it because it's through their deity's god, right? It's because they're through nature, the actual will of nature, or through a nature deity, right? So there's that. After druid, you've got fighter. Fighter is the guy that he's got a sword, he's got a shield, he's got a bow, and he's going to mess you up, right? They are combat expertise. That is what they're good at. They just excel at making sure that you don't live if you're the bad guy. Okay? After fighter, you have oh man, I just blanked out. After fighter, you have rangers. Rangers are similar to druids. They're a little watered down, but they also have a lot more just natural experience when it comes to nature and all that stuff. Druids do too, but it's more magical from their god, whereas rangers, it's more like hands-on experience. And they also are designed hunters. They can actually hunt specific targets. Like, oh, I'm a ranger that hunts undead. I'm a ranger that hunts demons. I'm a ranger that hunts whatever. Okay? They have special traits that they can select, right? After rangers, there's rogues. They're your thieves, right? They're the guys that open up all kinds of, like, if the way is closed, there's a window that they can bust into, right? But they also can be diplomats, schmooze people, all that stuff. But it's more of like underhanded tactics rather than overtly diplomatic. Let's see. After rogues, there's paladin. Okay, now, like we talked about with paladins. Paladins are holy warriors, similar to clerics, but they derive their power not just from their god, but from their oaths, from their codes of conduct. Hold on, my best friend's character was a Ranger of mine was a paladin. Our characters were very nice relationships. His character had a lot of respect for mine. Oh, very good, very good. We all hated the thief character. Yeah. Rogues are good, but they also are. Hey, Quinn! Thank you for the bits. Thank you for the bits, Quinn. I appreciate you. But they're also they're a help, but they also can be a hindrance, right? Anyway, where was I? Oh yeah, so paladins are the holy warriors that derive their power from their god or from their own belief in just the genuine good, right? And their code of conduct. Now, for the diplomat, like what role they fulfill, they're the religious, along with the cleric, they're the religious expert. They are the combat expert. They have social graces. Oh, thank you, Natini. Thank you very much. I'm going to screw up your name. You're going to have to tell me how to pronounce it after the stream. Thank you for the bits. Where was I? But they can also be the Niti is fine. Oh, Niti is fine. Okay, all right. But they also can be the diplomats, right? They can kind of get you into areas that you're not normally would get into. For example, like a cleric, a bard, or paladin can potentially calm a deadly situation, right? But they do it in potentially vastly different ways. A bard might be like, "Oh, hey, don't hate us. We're the good guys. Let me regale you our stories of heroism." A cleric would say, "Hey, don't hate us. We're the good guys. Here, let me help in the town center, right? Let me do some sort of civil service for you." A paladin would say, "Hey, we're the good guys. Don't hate us, because not only will I do a civil service for you, but I'm going to appeal to your sense of self-righteousness, right? To your sense of justice, right? We're here to protect people," kind of a deal. And we're here to solve a problem. So there's that. And then a rogue would do the opposite. They would diffuse the situation by, "Hey, no, hold on. Everyone's going to get a piece of this pie that we're about to bring you guys. Don't need to hate us. No need to hate us. We're going to take care of you." Now, it may not be true, but that's what a rogue can do. So, but what a paladin can do different from a rogue, a cleric, or a bard is that if they're dealing with royalty, or if they're dealing with somebody in authority, if they're dealing with a high-ranking religious figure, they know kind of the social graces that come into that character, right, or that NPC that you're dealing with, and then you move on, right? So that's what a paladin can do. A monk is just again, similar, very religious, very scholarly, believes in depending on, they have a code of conduct, but instead of swords and mail, it's cloth and fists, right? And then you have your wizard, which is you study your spells for your arcane. It's very much arcane studying. You study your arcane lore in order to cast spells and bend the universe to its will. And sorcerers, their magic doesn't come from studying, it comes from their bloodline. So normally they've got some dragon in them, or some angel or demon, whatever the case might be. There's some magic in that bloodline, so they cast spells by using the arcane blessings in their bloodline. And then, of course, warlocks are similar to clerics, but a little bit different, where they have a evil patron that's like, oh, I'll give you unmatched power for your soul, basically. Um, and that's what a traditional warlock is. I am of the belief that a warlock could have a, instead of a demonic patron, they could have an angelic patron, but that's neither here nor there. That's more just DM's preference. Um, so yeah, that's those are the classes in a nutshell. There's a few more that I could go into, like inquisitors, alchemists, swashbucklers, scalds, um, blood ragers, all that stuff. But really, those are kind of the basics, especially in fifth edition. Um, so yeah. Thank you for explaining it better. Yeah, if you just clip that entire, like in that my entire that entire thing, and just share with everybody, then yeah, I'm pretty sure that's literally how I've been able to explain most of it. As I'm supposed to be painting, by the way. Not that I love talking about D&D. I love talking about D&D. But this is, I am trying to paint. I am trying to get my backlog. My wife's going to be like, you were up for like 4 hours and you only got one army done, one unit done. I'm so sorry. Please go back to your painting. No, don't be sorry. Don't be sorry. I just have to remember I got to paint. Don't be sorry. No, I absolutely, absolutely, absolutely want to talk about D&D while I paint Warhammer. I don't get to nerd out as much as I used to. Um, so yeah, but that's basically what D&D is in kind of a nutshell. Um, you have your players, you have your DM, and then you guys talk about what's acceptable, what's not, what's going on, and all that stuff. And and you guys just kind of lay down the groundworks, and then the DM, once everything's set and done, the DM starts the campaign, and you guys just do what you have to do, right? But the biggest thing I can ever say is have fun. I'm going to finish our campaign. We all moved away. I really hope to get back into it. Oh, okay. Well, I've got plenty of D&D campaigns in this skull of mine. I've played so many D&D campaigns. Speaking about actually role playing, I need to take a quick second. And take a look at my Twitter, because that's what I thought. All right. Okay. All right. Good. 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 All right. Most excellent. That's what I wanted to see. But yeah. So that is. Oh, wrong one. Okay. Now let's get on to this painting. Ah. Oh no. Oh, it starts. Eh. All right. There we go. Let's get back onto this painting. Oh, I forgot. There we go. Okay. Much better. Ah. So, now we just go back to the painting, and I'll talk about what's called what you do need to do. So, obviously, I love painting metal models because they've got a little bit more detail in them, but they also chip really easy, which is kind of sad at the same time. Oh my. Can't be this tired already. Barely even started. Um, my damn, so I got a dip, but it was really nice hanging out. Looking forward. I'll be looking forward to more. Yeah. So I plan to be streaming tomorrow. It'll be something a little bit more energetic than just painting. It'll probably be a game. Probably hired gun, maybe, or I might just hop into an X-wing and frag a bunch of bucket heads, Imperial bucket heads. Um, so, uh, but yeah, I haven't decided yet. Kind of want. I kind well, I'm not an X-wing, B-wing, because B-wings are the fucking best. Um, B-wings are where it's at. I fucking love my B-wing. Oh, It's the A10 of the Rebel Alliance and of the New Republic. I'll be sure to hang out then. Have a great rest of the day. Oh, thank you. If I make it, I want to try and at least get this damn backpack done. There is an ancient party at the other end of town. The ancient owns a grocery store. The ancient name is Brown. He has a lovely daughter. Such a treat I never saw. The old man's son-in-law. Oi. Good Lord. Oh man, I don't know why I'm this tired. I think it's because my mind is finally calming down. Of course it happens exactly when I'm painting. Isn't that the trick? Let me go get some water real quick. Oh, my goodness. The ancient owns a grocery store. The ancient's name is Brown. He has a lovely daughter, such a treat I ever saw. I'd like to be the old man's son-in-law. Ugh. Shallow, shallow brown. Shallow, shallow brown. Gives me $4. Ah. All right. Oh, hey! How's it going? Hey, Commissar, how are you? I hope the days have been treating you well. They have. I have been humping, though, recently. But tomorrow I have off, thankfully, thanks to my lovely supervisor. Um, and uh, I so I'm painting right now just to chip away at the backlog that I've got. But once that's done, I'll actually be able to just kind of relax and play some games. Tomorrow I'll probably be playing some games too. I'll probably be playing Hired Gun, maybe a little bit of Star Wars. It really just kind of depends on how I'm feeling. Um, but yeah, I'm thinking Hired Gun, Star Wars, and maybe a little bit of Total War. I mean, Total War. Um, there's a new expansion that's about to drop, so I don't know just yet. Plus, I mean, it's going to be Friday not next day, but the day before that, um, or the day after that, and we're going to be doing some Valheim as an office. So there is an ancient party at the other end of town. Yeah, yeah, it's actually nice to relax. Oh, goodness gracious. where's that black? There it is. Been seeing a bit of Valheim. Still haven't played it myself. Well, if you see this last episode on YouTube, my backlog's pretty ridiculous as well. Yeah. If you this last episode on YouTube, my last two videos were Valheim, I think. So if you're interested in watching it, I have a series. I wasn't actually planning on playing Valheim, but when people are like, "Oh, it's like the forest," except there are monsters that actually try and kill you. I was just like, "Oh, a game that makes me hate myself even more? Do tell." But it's actually a pretty well put together game. I do enjoy the forest. Yeah, I can't wait for the sequel to drop. The Sons of the Forest. That's going to be a fun game. That's going to be fun. Because your special forces will see from the trailer. Oh man, I'm tired. Of course, also Dark Tide's coming out soon, and indeed I'll be watching for it. Dark Tide's coming out soon, so there's that. I'm just a huge fan of survival games recently. What? Nothing's wrong with that. Nothing is wrong with that. Seven Days Die, Conan the Forest. There is an ancient party at the other end of town. Yeah, I haven't played 7 Days to Die. I hear it's fun. I normally play RTS, RPG, anything turn-based as well. Okay. Now we just need some silver. Oh, well, I guess. Yeah. Well, let me do that real quick. Had a chance for any tabletop action? No. I know a lot of the channel, YouTube-wise, wants to see more tabletop, but I haven't had a chance to play a single fething game. Not ever since I moved here, man. I've casted. I've recorded tabletop simulator game. But really, that's been it. And I know it's not the same for tabletop simulator. I understand that, but I there isn't a large Warhammer community, unfortunately, here in Japan. And whatever community there is here in Misawa, our schedules just don't line up. No matter how hard you do work it. So it's unfortunately been rough. It happens. Sure, circumstances can do that. I end up playing solo games so I can just roll some dice. Yeah, I've thought about that. I've thought about like just filming battle reports where it's just my army versus another one of my armies and doing it that way, but so many of my stuff is probably out of date. Like I don't have this ninth edition codex for most of anything. Um, so I would have to buy. I'd have to wait for these ninth edition codexes to all drop. Do you guys have a transfer date coming up this year or next year? So my wife, and by the way, hey Mark, how's it going? I appreciate you coming in, dropping by. Um, so my wife and I aren't due to PCS, and that's provided that we don't extend. We're not due to PCS until 2023. Um, so we just hit, or we're about to hit, our 2 year mark, and I'm trying to convince her at least to make one more year out of it, which means we'd be 5 years in Japan. Um, but then, like, I don't know where we're going next. Have no clue. Wish I did. Um, but I'm at the mercy of my wife's orders because she's higher ranking than me. We'll be right back after doing this video class. Oh, that's fine. I'm not offended. I thank you for showing up, Dairy Oak. I really do. go. Oh, man. Whew. Good Lord. Oh. I'm pretty excited to see Toughness 5 orcs in the meta. Doing the meta. Yeah, man. Toughness 5 orcs. That's nuts. I mean, now that I have orcs, I mean that'd be super dope that if they, can live longer than like 10, 15 minutes. I mean, I was happy with them being toughness 4. But now orcs are toughness 5, and it's just like, shit. Now even bolters don't phase them. I'll be right back. goodness. Hey, Jenna. Oh, my lord. Sorry about that. Had to go to the bathroom real quick. Oh. Boy. That just hit me out of nowhere. Oh. Oh, thank you, Jaina. Thank you for the bits. It'd be fun to do an Armies on Parade on Discord. Well, yeah, just throw it up there, man. I mean, I'm pretty sure you've done a lot of work, so if you want to go ahead and throw your work up on Discord, you should totally do it, man. I am not going to dissuade you from that. Okay. Oh, you know what? That will look more of a brown. Oh, that's all right. Not every bit of leather has to be the same. Let's see if I have a brown. Night Quester Flesh. What is that? Oh, that's definitely not. Oh, man. Question is, do I actually have a decent brown? Bugman's Glow. I don't know. That doesn't look like a brown that I've used often. I think maybe this is a brown I need. Still Legion Drab. Do I have one that's open? That's the $1,000,000 question. Here's a Steel Legion drab, but is it open? Oh no, we got an encoding error. Eek. Just refresh real quick. No, that's not. It's not open. There you are. Graveyard Earth. I think this is it. Yeah, that looks like it is. Yeah. All right. Well, we'll at least do the webbing in the Graveyard Earth. Because that's... yeah. Let me just take a look at this real quick. Just double checking. All right. All right. And just rotate this camera real quick. This one, I think we may need a little bit of light. All right. Okay. Hey, Algie. How are you? Yeah. Oh, that's gonna hurt like a bastard in the morning. Back to my favorite content again. Yes, yeah, I'm painting right now. I had to switch to a stronger light just because it's black. Oh, oh yeah, that is brown. All right. we go. Actually, I need that still. Oh. Can you paint me like one of your French girls? Uh, that's pretty funny. Well, I'm painting a Stormtrooper Sergeant, so probably not. Super cool Harvey you had there, though, man. Oh, thank you, thank you. Here's one that we're... Oh, let me turn this off because it's bleaching the... Here's one that we're just working on his webbing. Hope all's well treating you back there. It is. Yeah, it's been going. It's been going. What's this? Ironbreaker. I need... Oh no, Ironbreaker. Oh. I need an Ironbreaker that's not fucked. Or a lead belcher. I can do lead belcher. Lead belcher's good. There we go. Doo-ba-doo-boo. knife piece. Aye. Close that off real quick. Good stretch. Quick rest of the eyes. There we go. Nice and easy. Okay. Now we need to do the red and the blue. Red, that's easy. Hi, pal. There we go. Now the blue. It's green. There it is. Boo. go. And we're gonna do this for the clasps. Only because I don't have enough tin bits, which is what I originally used for the paint. Alright, that backpack is officially done. There we go. Kind of sad it took me so long to get the backpack done and nothing else, but that's what happens when you talk D&D for the first hour and a half. Let's see. Oh man. Are you gonna play a new D&D game on Steam? The new D&D game on Steam. I will once they introduce Paladins. Once they do that, then I'll play it. But not before. Only because, Dark Alliance. Yeah. So there was the Baldur's Gate one that came out. I don't think it's class based. Oh, yeah. So there was the Baldur's Gate one that came out, and then there's that one that I hear. Fair enough. It seems to have received a lot of criticism, but it looks cool. Yeah. I bet it is a pretty good game. It's like Left 4 Dead. Oh, okay. All right. I believe it just got released yesterday. Or War of the North Dungeon Crawler. Oh, okay. All right. Well, I don't know if a Left 4 Dead would work for D&D, but hey, if it works, right? I loved War of the North, except my PC couldn't run it. Oh no. Oh my lord. Whew, I'm hurting, guys. Well, it's late. Yeah, it is late. I don't know how you're awake. I am. Like I said, I didn't. Still working the same schedule. No. I'm off tomorrow. This is why I'm up. But yeah, it's been what's called Yeah, it's been a busy few work days. So I got the day off, and tomorrow and Friday's a wing down day. So good to go on that. So I'm kind of excited. And then yeah, what's it called? And I'm also off Monday, so I'll be able to stream then too. So it's not a total loss if I don't get this done. I want to, don't get me wrong. Ah, preparing the cells for people and getting off like normal. Well, like I said, I was busy, uh, and we were humping. So yeah. Although, well, I don't know if I can talk about that on stream, but we did work. We did work over the weekend. Not this weekend. Last weekend we worked super. Last weekend I put in a lot of effort over the week. Let's see. Damn it. That's gonna be silver. Ah, that's gonna be a small silver bit. You do all that work for other agencies to drop the ball. Yeah, well, that is very true, unfortunately. Oh, man. Oh, come on. All right, let's see. cool. So we got the pistol and the sword squared away. I'll just finish the this last piece. Actually, I do need to look at one of the models that I took a picture of. Just to double check. Alright, man, I gotta get some stuff around the house and I'm heading out. Have a great stream. I'll catch you later. Yeah, thanks, man. I appreciate you dropping in, my dude. Yeah, that's all black except for the gun sight. Okay, cool. Just had to double check. Okay. All right. All right. Well, I'm drifting, and it's getting hard for me to focus. So we're gonna call that here. But just to show you guys what progress we've made. This is an almost done Stormtrooper. So you got the front, you got the back. The only thing we need to worry about now is his hairline, and then his hygiene. That's it. Or not hygiene. Well, hygiene in the sense of like I'm gonna have to wash this model real quick again. But his hairline, and then the silver of the belt buckle, and then, like I said, wash him so that there's no dust on him. But that's after the paint dries. All right, well, I want to thank everyone for joining me for this this quick impromptu paint. Well, really D&D talk first, and then the paint session. But anyway, tomorrow morning, after I drop the girls off at school, I will be filming. I'll be filming Necromunda Hired Gun, maybe some X-Wing. And then Friday I'll be filming. Saturday I won't, or I may, depends. Might be more painting. And then Monday I'll be filming too. But anyway, I'll talk to you guys later. My name is Commissar Hecht. If you like what you see, make sure you like, comment, subscribe. Join my Facebook, YouTube, Discord, and what's called Facebook, YouTube, Discord, Twitch, Twitter. And please join me for that. Also, don't forget to support 22 Kill, which is the charity that I'm championing. Oh, Algie, if you want to fly together You just let me know, and we'll work it out. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next episode. Bye bye.